Hey, what is going on, guys? Me, Kova, and welcome back to another episode of Transfer Gossip. Fair few decent ones going on today, but we are kicking it off with what is essentially a Chelsea player. Obviously, he's coming up as a Schalke player on the screen. He is obviously Abdul Baba Rahman. You know, Chelsea signed him and I thought he could be really decent. He looked strong, he looked powerful, he looked quick. And I don't think he actually really got the chance. And in the end, obviously, Chelsea have now gone on to sign Alonso. They've done really well this season. I don't know whether Rahman would have made a difference or they would have been made worse. I don't know, but obviously he's, up for sale, basically, I presume. Schalke may have an interest in him. However, Everton are interested in signing Rahman from Chelsea, obviously, when his loan deal does expire. I presume Schalke don't have the option to permanently sign him. They may want to, but I'm guessing they don't have that option in his deal. Otherwise, I think other teams would be interested. Next up is Andrew Robertson. Obviously, Hull have gone down now, so the team is kind of up for grabs, if you will. And Robertson has been one of their standout players. I think he's been really good. Liverpool, however, the club interested, they may raid Hull for the left-back Robertson. Because obviously, they could probably get him on cheap, or at least relatively cheap. Robertson was signed when Steve Bruce was trying to bring Hull back into the Prem and keep them there, obviously, at some point. And yeah, he's a good player, but is he like Champions League standard is what you've kind of got to ask. I'm not too sure. I don't know if he can make that step up. However, he has actually had a really, really good season. Next up is Wes Morgan. Obviously, he's not featured too heavily for Leicester this season. I think that's mainly due to injuries. And Benitez wants Morgan at Newcastle. He was trying to get the Leicester captain into his Newcastle Prem side, so a bit of experience next to Lascelles, who is a very good centre-back, but I think he does need that extra bit of, kind of guidance, if you will, at the centre-back partner. Mahamadou Sakho is next up. Obviously, Liverpool have revealed a Sakho price kind of thing. Obviously, Liverpool initially signed Sakho for £20 million from PSG. They've revealed that Sakho can leave the club for a fee of around £30 million. So it should be a nice £10 million profit on a player who obviously has had his problems at the club in terms of behavioural issues and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be too bad to get a £10 million fee in terms of a Liverpool perspective. Next up is a guy called Lemos. He's been highly, highly rated in La Liga for Las Palmas, I believe he plays for. And the club that's going to go in for him is Everton. They are interested. They are exploring the possibility of trying to sign the Uruguayan. I think Everton do need a huge, huge rebuild job. I think, there's a lot of players over the age of 30 that kind of need to be pushed out and bring in fresh new faces. Next up is Joe Gomez. Get links with a move to Bournemouth. They're plotting a $10 million bid for the young international centre-back. Obviously, he's had a big injury that's kind of kept him out all season. So Bournemouth are looking to try and keep, get an advantage. I'd probably say a loan to buy deal would be better for Bournemouth. Next up, Fabio Borini has a release clause from Sunderland on the evaluation that if they get relegated, he can leave. Marcos Alonso is wanted by Barcelona as they will apparently make a move for Chelsea's left back. I don't really see why they need a left back. I think Jordi Alba does more than enough. Unless he's potentially leaving, I'm not too sure. But I don't see why they'd then splash the cash for a replacement if he did leave. It's just pointless. Jordi Alba's a really good left back on his day when he's fit. I don't see why they want to go in for Marcos Alonso as well. Next up is Sebastian Larsson. This is a kind of a mad one. Obviously, Sunderland gone down. A lot of Sunderland players are going to leave, as we mentioned. But he's set to go to Fiorentina in Italy. So he's gone from a relegation battle, not really playing, pretty much injured most of the time, to a top 10, I think they are, top 10 side, Fiorentina. Usually really good, Fiorentina, but recently they've been kind of surpassed by a lot of teams. But either way, they usually get Europe. So I find it strange how players can get relegated and go to bigger clubs, especially foreign clubs. We've seen a few of the better players for the teams that have gone down, such as Wijnaldum's done quite well at Liverpool, but I just think it's strange. Next up, anyway, is Lanzini. He is interested. Well, he's interesting other clubs in the Premiership, such as Everton and Liverpool. Both want Lanzini from West Ham. They've seen enough of him in the Premier League. I can't remember whether he did end up getting signed permanently by West Ham or not. I'm not too sure on that one. Dries Mertens is next up. This is probably the craziest story of the day. I think it's got to be the biggest story anyway in terms of us, and that is West Ham want to make an absolutely audacious, incredible, astounding, whatever word you want to call it, move for the Napoli winger/striker Dries Mertens. That's just mental. You know, he's been getting linked to Manchester United for the summer. I'm guessing a few other European clubs would quite happily take him and would be interested. But West Ham are set to make a move for him. Really, you know, like, I know West Ham got big plans. I know they've got a big stadium. I know they've got, you know, owners that want to invest and want to push them higher. But Mertens, who's had a great season for Napoli, I just cannot see it happening one bit. Next up is Kyle Walker. Obviously, we mentioned him going to Manchester City. I think that probably is still going to be the case. However, Chelsea are going to step in to rival Manchester City. They've obviously both got cash. They both got, you know, Champions League football. I think both of them can persuade him to move, but I still think Kyle Walker will end up at Manchester City. Christian Atsu's next up. Newcastle have agreed a fee with Chelsea for a permanent move on Christian Atsu. Obviously spent the season on loan, just gone, and they have now apparently agreed a permanent fee to take him on a full-time basis. And finally, we end on Jardel. Obviously, he's just been part of the team that won the league, the Portuguese league with Benfica. West Brom are to go in for the Benfica Brazil centre-back. That is our final story. I say the main one for me has got to be that main story. I just cannot see it happening one bit. Everton are making some strong moves in terms of like Rahman and Lemos would be a great sign if they can get him. Other than that, it's just the usual type of stories. Larson to Fiorentina is absolutely mad. But guys, if you did enjoy, make sure you do drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here. And I shall see you in the next one.